Here's another write a program question. So you can see that I've blanked out the old bit where it said write it in pseudocode, because we're just doing our things in Python these days, or whichever language that you're writing in. So it's an ice cream seller. So we're calculating, or trying to calculate, how many ice creams they might sell on a particular day. So there are several things that we've got as input. So first one, get the user to enter whether it's a weekend or a weekday. So we could do that first. It's the first thing we could do. So let's have a variable called day. So to input, enter week or weekend. Will do. So there we've got our first bit. So we've got the input, get the user to enter the temperature forecast in degrees for that day. So it needs to be between 20 and 45. So temp. This is going to be a number. So let's cast it as an integer. So I'll say enter temp 20 to 45. Something like that. We're going to need to calculate the number of ice creams, so let's make a variable for that while we're at it. So we'll say ice creams equals 0. That's going to make us an ice creams variable as an integer. So then we need to do this bit where the 20 to 45 inclusive. So we need to do some kind of validation. So the easiest way to validate this is to use a while loop. So while temp is less than 20, or temp is more than 45, like that, we'll say print temp must be 20 to 45 only, and then we need to get the temperature again. So temp equals int, the same line of code we had above, input. Now we can just say enter temp again here. So we've done the validation. So this bit of the while loop is doing that. So you can see we've got our correct indent for the while loop there. So now if we've passed through this, we know we've got a temperature that's in the right range. So we can now start thinking about how we calculate the ice creams. So calculating the ice creams, if it's 100 ice creams, are likely to be sold if it's between 20 and 30 is the temperature. So I can get the pen. No, we've gone to red, not to worry. If temp is less than 31, then we're going to say ice creams equals ice creams plus 100, because it's 100 that we're likely to sell for that one. Just give ourselves a little bit more space. So then we can go with an Elif. So Elif, the temp is less than, I think it's 39, yeah, because we've got 131, 38. It's less than 39, then ice creams equals ice creams plus, and it's 150 we might sell in this case. So there's only one more option. So the other option is 120 if it's higher than 38. Presumably it's too hot and people don't come out so much. So else ice creams equals ice creams plus 120. So we've done all of that bit now. So we just need to do this part where it says double the estimate if it's a weekend. So there's a bit more space to work with. So we've already got the day of the week and we said it's weekend or week. So if day is exact equivalent to weekend, because that's the one we're interested in, ice creams equals, let's just erase that. Ice creams equals ice creams times 2, because we want to times it by 2 if it's the weekend. And the last thing we do is to print ice creams sold, or ice cream sold, and the variable. So let's just rewrite that a little bit better for you. So we want to print the variable ice creams out. So we've printed that out there. That's the variable. That's the little bit of text we've done. So we should have covered everything there. So we've covered getting the user to enter whether it's a weekend or not. So that's our day. We got the temperature, and then we validated the temperature. We set a variable for ice creams to be 0. We then checked to see if the temperature was less than 31. We made the ice creams 100. If it wasn't less than 31, we checked to see if it was less than 39. We made it 150. Otherwise, it must have been more than this. So we made it 120, and then we checked to see if it was a weekend, and if it was, we doubled it, and then we output it. So we've got all our correct indents. So with our indent there, and there, and there, that's correct, and one here as well. So we've kept the indents properly, and we've sorted that one out there. So 9 marks for this one. So you're going to get some marks for having the correct data types and sensible data name, variable names, sorry. So you've got day seems a reasonable variable name. Temp for temperatures reasonable. Ice creams perfectly okay for ice creams. So we've got those all right. So we've got the right kind of statements for our ifs. So we've done that properly. We've validated correctly. So we should get all of the 9 marks for that one.